Hey everybody, it's me Ben and welcome to a video I have been wanting to make for a long time, and that is my Ghostbusters Afterlife Custom Minifigure Showcase. And this was supposed to come out like the month of the movie's release, and gosh, it's just been a wild ride since then, but I'm really excited to show it to you. I believe this is my first custom review of the year. That's awesome. These figures have actually been done for like a month now, but it has just been a really busy couple of weeks, and like all my video time has gone into a LEGO Dimensions video just for the file to corrupt, so that's pretty annoying, but it's also kind of nice because I'm going to get to finally work on this video, which I've been really excited to work on and show you all these figures that are some of my favorite figures that I've ever made. So spoiler for Ghostbusters Afterlife, there's kind of already, you've seen some spoilers, hopefully you weren't looking too closely, but yeah, I'm gonna get right into the custom. Our first character is of course Phoebe Spangler, who was just a great addition to the Ghostbusters franchise and definitely my favorite character of the movie. She uses this hairpiece, I don't really know what to call it, grandma hairpiece I guess. I know they also used it on Queenie from Fantastic Beasts. And speaking of Wizarding World stuff, her face was a Harry Potter face, and I erased the mouth and eyebrows and scar and then repainted them and then painted the lines over the eyes that LEGO does for young girl characters. And that's also kind of fun because my figure for Ghostbusters 1984 actually uses, my Egon figure in that showcase actually uses a Harry Potter face as well, so that's pretty cool. Her proton wand is special, just like how in the movie it's extra special compared to the other ones. Here's one, for example, in that I gave it a green hilt here, and there is a white band around the end there. And the proton pack has a few extra details as well. Very similar details for the most part, but this part is painted silver, this part's painted silver, there's some blue here. You'll see most of this design over and over again for the other Ghostbusters characters, but the main difference is I did add a little piece in there. It was like the end of a spear, I think that looked really good because this had like a little bit of new technology, some new gadgets on it. And then I dry brush it in gray to give it this really weathered appearance. It doesn't show up as well on camera, but I think it looks really good. Her torso is a like brownish tannish color with some green straps there with E-tape. Also the belt is E-tape, and so is the name tag that says Spangler, so that's pretty cool. The arm on this side has the Ghostbusters logo, and this side has a pocket. And there's also E-tape at the ends of the arms to represent the rolled up sleeves. The legs are just the short legs with 2 pockets on each side, and then dark red shoes with a white line on the bottom. The next figure is Podcast, who again was a super fun new addition to the Ghostbusters franchise and a character I really enjoyed. His hairpiece is the sleepyhead hair, painted in black and sanded on the side. This hairpiece has actually been reused a couple of times, first for my Siggy figure and then for Lewis from Ant-Man, so that's pretty fun for it to wind up here. And the face, I couldn't really decide on the skin tone because LEGO uses multiple skin tones for different Asian characters, but I eventually decided to use the one that they used for Cho Chang and some other characters that I can't really think of right now. So I took that, and the face is fully painted, and I'm really proud of it. The torso doesn't actually have any E-tape detailing, and I think the rest of the flight suits, at least for the kids, won't have any detailing actually. He has a white shirt underneath, and he drew his own badge on, so that's actually pretty fun. This side has a Ghostbusters logo and this side has a pocket, and he also has the same E-tape rolled up sleeves as Phoebe does. His accessory here I actually think is pretty cool. So this is the Aztec death whistle, and it's really small, but I think it looks really cool, and it's made using a Harry Potter wand piece. I don't know why Harry Potter pieces are coming up so much in this showcase, but they really are. And the legs are the short leg piece, again with the same jumpsuit color, as well as some blue shoes there with a pink line at the bottom and then a gray line on the front there. Next up is Trevor, played by the kid from Stranger Things, and his hairpiece here is actually the Hobbit hair. I felt like that hair fit him best after trying a couple different hair pieces. And his face is actually inspired by his actors' characters from Stranger Things face. I'm striking out on Stranger Things characters' names right now. I don't know why, but from the Lego set, and I think it's a pretty good likeness. I'm really proud of that. His torso is really fun because it's like the first open flight suit, so that made it something that was very different to paint and a lot of fun to paint. But it still has all the pocket detailing and the wrinkle detailing. No name tag on his though. He still has the logo on this side and the pocket on this side, and he does actually have shoulder pads. Him and Lucky both have shoulder pads, so that's pretty cool. And these are the correct colors on my original 4 Ghostbusters. I gave them the wrong colored shoulder pads, but I fixed that for these guys. And his accessory is actually pretty cool. So this is the remote control to his other accessory, which is the RC Ghost Trap, which is right over here. And I'm really proud of this thing. I kind of just made it randomly because I thought it would be fun. And I really am. It's just basically a bunch of random Lego pieces glued together with some wheels glued on the side of it. And yeah, it can roll around. I'm going to roll it around on the screen back here. But yeah, it's really cool. So even though he doesn't really use it in the movie, I decided to give him the remote control as an accessory to go to that. And then he actually has mid legs, which are painted in the same tan color. And he uses some black shoes with some white stripes on the edge. And yeah, that's it for Trevor. Next up is Lucky, who was another super fun brand new character and the 4th Ghostbusters to round out a new 4 Ghostbusters. And yeah, her hairpiece actually, funnily enough, is from the 2016 movie set. I mean, actually, wait, there wasn't a 2016 Ghostbusters movie. What am I talking about? This hairpiece just spontaneously appeared in my collection. And then I sculpted these little braids on the front. If there's one thing about this figure that still makes me a little bit upset is the skin tone. To be honest, Lego really only has like 2 skin tones for black characters, and neither really fit her, and that really bothers me, but I can't really like paint a skin tone. That always is really hard to do. But I felt like this was closer than the other option, but I think that's really something Lego needs to get on. Her face was like the face from a Lego Batman movie character. I can't remember, but she had a mask on, so I erased the mask and drew on these eyes and eyelashes, and I think it's a pretty close job. I think it's pretty good. She also has the flight suit, and I sanded the sides there like I do for most female characters, and she has the pockets and the zipper and everything painted on. She does have a little necklace in there, so that's pretty cool. She has a Ghostbusters logo on this side and the pocket on this side, and of course the same shoulder pads that Trevor has. She also has mid-legs from the Harry Potter line with the 2 pockets painted on the front and black shoes with some gray lines to represent laces there. And that is it for Lucky. Paul Rudd's Mr. Gruberson was a character I was really excited to see, and I think a lot of people really were excited to see and really enjoyed. I think he did a great job, and again, another great addition to the Ghostbusters franchise. But yeah, his hairpiece is that newer Han Solo hairpiece, and then his face, other than the eyes, is actually fully custom, so I painted the beard and the eyebrows and everything on there. I think it looks pretty good. It's kind of got that cheesy smile thing that he does, and he does have a alternate expression you can see there of when he first sees the mini puffs. So I think that's pretty fun, but of course my favorite is like the cheesy smile on the front. His torso was really hard to paint, the little pattern there, and it's not my favorite paint job, but I think it still looks pretty cool whenever you're not looking too close at it. And then I think what really helped is definitely the outline of the shirt and the little buttons on there. The same pattern continues on to the side of his arms. I didn't put it on the back just because, gosh, it was too much to do that again. And then he has some E-tape on the side of his sleeves there to kind of like have them rolled up at the ends. He has these orange bands on, which I still don't really know what those are, and his watch on this side, which I thought would be super fun to make that a 3D watch that uses a minifigure stud and the like joint of a lever piece. I don't really know. And then his pants are just painted gray, and then I painted them to be shorts by having the lighter flesh tone color through there, and the high blue socks and his brown shoes. And then also I put his keys on there because I think that's a really funny scene when he's scrambling to get his keys in the car. So yeah, that is Mr. Gruberson. I've got to say, out of all of the baby characters that studios have been trying to make in the last couple of years, the mini puffs are definitely my favorite. They're a lot of fun, and they really capture the goofiness and the character of the original Stay Puft and like why he existed as a character. And they had like a reason to exist, unlike a lot of them do. He's actually made out of a microfigure from the Lego games collection that they would use as little game pieces. But I did modify it to where his head can turn around. It's got a lot of posability, so that's really fun. And that's actually just by sticking a toothpick in his head, so that looks pretty funny just like that. But it slides right into the body there, and I think it looks really cool. This part on top, this is actually a rod piece that I cut up and put a stud around to make his little hat there. I think that looks pretty cute. And I used that same rod piece to create the arms here with this part of the arm at the end and his little hand. The bottom part of the arm is sculpted, and so is his big old belly, which I think looks really good, and that just goes right into the microfig legs. And yeah. Muncher just absolutely has to be one of my favorite minifigures I've ever made. Gosh, he just looks so cool. I'm really proud of how he turned out. But yeah, he started out with this like piece, like, I don't know, all these crazy pieces, which I should have hopefully to the side here. I don't think I deleted that. It was basically like a garment on piece, and then a minifigure body, and then a broken minifigure body. Just a lot of random stuff. Or actually it was just 2 minifigure bodies, never mind about that, just 2. And then these arms can actually move, the arms on the top and on the bottom, so that is like, that's super cool. And I'm struggling to move them just from this, from where I am, but yeah, they can move, and I'm really proud of that. And his head can move a little bit. Yeah, it can actually move there a little bit. Because of his chin, it doesn't have a lot of articulation, but it is really fun to just have like a ghost that you can move a lot. And I'm really proud of how that turned out. These arms cannot move, sadly, but his face is just a minifigure head with the neck cut off. And then I sculpted these big old cheeks and this big old chin for him. And gosh, it just, oh my gosh, it looks so cool. And painted the little details. It was, actually I was trying to make like a smile there, but it ended up looking a little more angry. But honestly, I like how the expression turned out anyways. And then I used these like some dark blue lines to be able to little wrinkles and little fat lines and everything. And his accessory is super fun. It's this stop sign, which was made out of a red plate, and then I drilled 3 holes into it and painted it with that same cyan color to look like he took a big old bite out of it. And gosh, I'm just really proud of this figure. And then I sprayed the whole thing with a sealant that made him all shiny, and I'm just, gosh, I think that's the coolest part because he looks so slimy and shiny. But yeah, that's it for Muncher. Moving into kind of spoiler territory, but not really spoiler territory, is of course Dr. Peter Venkman in this movie. A fantastic cameo, and I mean, man, I mean, we've had a lot of like reboots and rehashes and bringing back franchises, but I gotta say, the way they handled the cameos in Ghostbusters Afterlife is like the best thing I've ever seen. Yeah, I love how that cameo turned out with all three of the Ghostbusters. Even if you haven't seen the movie yet, I think, and even if you haven't seen the originals, you can feel the emotions. I think it's worth it. So his hair is the same hair that is used in the in the Lego Dimensions pack and the Firehouse set, just painted in light gray. And then his face is actually 100% custom, and I'm really proud of how that face turned out. His Proton pack looks like pretty much all of the other Proton packs I made. It's all black, and then it's got a piece of blue in there, some silver, and some E-tape here, and some red dots inside of there. The torso is painted in that tan color with the E-tape for his little bands here, as well as his belt. And his name tag there, Ghostbusters logo on this side, and a Ghostbusters patch on that side. And then of course, the little shoulder pads. And they did the costumes a little bit weird. They didn't give the Ghostbusters their second belts, and they didn't really give them any of the technology on their belts. Well, it's kind of hard to tell, but from what I can tell, instead they just took the characters' gloves and tucked them into the belt, which is a little bit random, but I painted them on there. There's some minifigure hands in there, and I think it looks really, really good. And then, of course, there's some pockets on both sides of the legs, and then this is like a piece of an actual wire that I cut up and used for also all of my 1984 Ghostbusters figures. And then we have the black boots, the standard black boots for Dr. Peter Venkman. I think my favorite cameo by an actor from the original Ghostbusters movie was definitely Dan Aykroyd as Ray Stantz. It was really fun to see that he was still in the occult bookstore. Just a lot of fun there. His hair is the hair from, I don't know, some Overwatch character. I don't play Overwatch. Who do I look like? But it's painted in dark brown and then dry brushed with some dark gray, which I put on the sides there, and I think it looks pretty cool. And then his face is actually the face from the original sets. That was super cool. I kind of did a trade-off. I made a new face for my 1984 Ray, and then used that face and edited it for this Ray, and I think it turned out really well because I managed to make him look a lot older, and I think it turned out really, really well, and it was really fun to start with a young face and turn it older. But yeah, he has the exact same Proton pack as the other guys do. And then he also has this tan flight suit that the rest of them do with all the little wrinkles. And then I do have a big belly line that Lego does for the big belly characters, because Ray's got a little bit of a tummy going on. But then he has E-tape for his straps there, and for his little name tag, and for his belt. Also has his gloves painted on to look like they're tucked into the belt. And then the Ghostbusters logo and the shoulder pad on this side. The pocket and the shoulder pad on this side. And then he has two pockets on his legs, as well as the this cord here that plugs into his pack, and his black shoes. And yeah, I am really excited to see Winston's character in these future Ghostbusters movies. It looks like they're setting up some really interesting stuff with him. And Ernie Hudson's always awesome, so it was good to see him again. This hair is actually a brand new hairpiece. They used it for T'Challa's Star-Lord, and I think it fits him perfectly. I also used it for Ghostbusters 2 Winston Zeddemore, because I think it just fits Ernie Hudson's hair perfectly. And then the face, other than the eyes and the mouth, is custom with the mustache and the wrinkles. And it's not really showing up really well. Maybe if nope, that made it worse. But yeah, he has the same Proton pack that the other Ghostbusters have there. And if you really want to see the intricacies of these, I'm kind of not talking about it as much because I'm trying to make my video shorter. But I got into it a little bit more on my 1984 Ghostbusters custom review. He has the same flight suit with the straps here. and the name tag and the belt, and then the gloves tucked into the belt as well as the pockets, and it's a little more open, so that was fun to make. And then there's a logo on this side and a shoulder pad on this side, of course, with the shoulder pads going on. And then got some pockets on the leg there, and he also has this cord going into his pack. One of the best experiences I've ever had in a movie theater is seeing Egon Spangler's Ghost for the first time. Absolutely incredible, emotional experience. Oh gosh, it was so good. And I really wanted to do that moment justice by making just a really amazing ghost Egon, and I kind of knew immediately like how I wanted to do this, and that is to make it completely transparent. So that's a big deal about this figure. You can see through it. If I put my hand back here, you can see it. If I put, Fat Thor back there, you can see him through there. That's nuts. So this is like a knockoff minifigure. It was like a stormtrooper because I really struggled to find a good transparent minifigure, but eventually I found this like hologram stormtrooper figure. So I took that and just used it exactly how it was, and just painted all the details in like white and blue, so that way there's kind of a color scheme going on, so it looks like a ghost. And then his hair is the only piece that's not see-through. Of course, I couldn't really make a new see-through piece, but that is his hair from the sets, but I just sanded it down a little bit to make it a little less tall, and painted that in a silvery white color. And then his face is a little bit harder to see. Oh gosh, whoops. It's harder to see with the hair because it makes the back of his face kind of dark. It's kind of funny how the see-through works. He's got his smile there, and his beard, and his glasses, and the eyes, and it's a little bit hard to see just because it's weird to paint on a clear face like that, but I think it looks really good and captures the likeness really well, and it just looks really great. And then I painted the flight suit on there with some dark blue details, and then there's a pocket on this side and the Ghostbusters logo on this side. And then he also has some shoulder pads. He doesn't have a proton pack or anything like that, but oddly enough, he's the only one of these characters that has the white belt. Like, I don't know why, like, so he didn't take his proton pack to the Afterlife, but he kept the white belt, but none of the other Ghostbusters kept like the military belt. Like, I don't know what's going on with that, but he's got it there, and I think that looks pretty cool. I painted all these wrinkles on there, and even on the back some, so that was fun. And then the pockets are painted with this dark blue and light blue, and then his boots are painted with dark blue, and that is Ghost Egon. Evo Shandor, in my opinion, is one of the most insane parts about the movie. I mean, I guess not as much as Egon, but almost there, because, I mean, it is just so amazing that this is, like, a character that for years we've wondered about and been hinted about, and to finally just have him, like, show up in a movie is just incredible, and really shows that the people making this movie really genuinely care about the Ghostbusters franchise. And J.K. Simmons, I mean, man, perfect casting for Evo Shandor. I hope we really get to see him in the role again for a little bit more, because I feel like Evo Shandor is going to find a way to pop back up. He kind of always does. But his hairpiece is actually really funny, because this hair I used for my J. Jonah Jameson for Spider-Man Far From Home, but I hated that figure. I think it's one of the worst minifigures I've made, and I tore it to shreds. And all I have left is I had this piece, and so I repainted it white, and then I sculpted the comb over on it, and I think it looks really good. I'm actually really proud of how that comb over turned out. His face is entirely custom painted with a sculpted Fu Manchu going on there. And then his torso has this sort of soldier looking thing. I don't really know what it is, but he's got some red straps going this way, and then the Cult of Gozer symbol in the middle there. And then his legs are just the dark blue as well with the little black shoes. And he has some little cuff designs. I just kind of added those on. It was hard to get a good picture of him before the movie came out. But yeah, that's it for Evo. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm sorry it's been a long time coming. And all videos, I mean, it's literally been months since I made one, and I just want to really thank you for watching this and sticking with me. For all of you who have, it's been a very busy season of my life. I'm graduating from high school, I'm going into college. It's been a lot of crazy things going on, and a lot of crazy things even video-wise, with a giant video I worked on for 2 months that was LEGO Dimensions got completely corrupted. But yeah, I'm really glad I could put this one out because it's been something I've wanted to show you guys for a while. I'm really proud of all of these. I'm really thankful to all of you guys who watch these videos. It just makes my day whenever I can create something and other people enjoy it. So thank you for that. So the next video is actually going to be, yes, Spider-Man No Way Home. People have been asking for that. It's going to be the next one. So pretty soon. And Sonic the Hedgehog 2 should be right after that. And Spider-Man is done. So, like, that should be out within the next couple of weeks. For real this time, not, like, the next couple of weeks. Ben's going to take months to make a video again. Like, for real, the next couple of weeks, Spider-Man No Way Home will be out. Just the 3 Spider-Mans. I'll have a separate villains showcase at some point. And Sonic will follow that. But, yeah, thanks again. And goodbye.